Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/inkdependence. It keeps this channel ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. Today we're talking about this ink. This is Papier, Plume, and Inkyconverters. It's actually getting blown out by the camera. There we go. Papier, Plume, and Inkyconverters Trash Penda Gray, which is based on this little character who's a trash panda, aka a raccoon. This is a fun ink that is a collaboration between, obviously, Papier, Plume, and my friend Angela over at Inkyconverters. She reached out and said, hey, Mike, I got this ink I'm doing for the St. Louis Pen Show. You want to take a look at it and tell people? I'm like, yes. So, I love a gray ink. I really like Angela and all of her artwork. She does a great job on stuff, and it's fun to be able to talk about this ink. So this will be available at the St. Louis Pen Show in 2022, which is coming up very soon. If you're watching this when I drop the video, it will be the 24th through the 26th of June, which is like this weekend, right? So here it is on some Rhodia 80 grams per square meter paper, and you can see it has a lot of very nice shading here in the swatch and in the writing sample. Also, you can see there's a lot of like interesting color going on. There's like some green and that sort of thing going on in there. I feel like there might be a little touch of pink up in here. Yeah, it looks really cool. It has been flowing very nicely in this pen that I've gotten it in. I haven't had this this ink in a pen for very long because I just haven't had it for very long, but I've had it in this Aurora 88. This has got a medium nib. I really like the Aurora 88. It's my favorite Aurora model. I've got a couple of these and it's great. So it's been really good in this pen. I would say the flow is maybe a little bit wet, although it's it's hard to say because Papier Plume inks are generally a little bit on the thin side, a little bit undersaturated, which is how you get this really nice shading as you have up here in that text there. So you get some shading from this. Even on not amazing papers, you'll get some shading just because of that thinness. And you can see here, like just the printed lines kind of broke through, which is an interesting effect there. So yeah, really interesting ink. A little bit of feather and bleed though on the 20-pound copy paper. And that's because this paper is very bad, but also it's just sort of a thin ink. It's a little bit on the wet side, I think. And so you get a little bit of feathering in the text here and there. Not a big deal. And also just, some bleed through the back. But as you can see here, almost everything bleeds through this paper. It is not good. This is what's in your office copier that your office bought because it's the cheapest thing in Reams, right? So don't take that as like a knock on the ink. It's just, this is bad paper, and that's what you can expect from that. So now, I've been a big fan of Papier Plume inks for quite a while. I have a bunch of them. These are going to be $13 each at the show, and they're also going to be available in a stationery box that Angela has put together, which there will be a limited number of those, and those will come with a wax seal on top. This is the one that was on top of here. She's been experimenting with how to make it stick better and all that sort of thing. I think she's got that knocked out, but look at how cute this little wax seal is. I mean, I want to buy that, right? Nice ink, but give me that wax seal though. Love a wax seal. All right, so we'll put this over here. Let's do the water test on this and then take a look at it on some other papers, look at some similar inks, all that jazz. We'll get some chromatography, which is preview. Very cool. Let that kind of swish around a little bit. Not sure what this is going to look like for water resistance. I kind of have a hint that it's going to be okay at resisting water, but let's see what we have left when we blot this all up here. Ta-da! Yeah, so you get some that came off on my little paper towel here, but I think if you dumped a cup of water or a cup of coffee over on this, you would be okay. I've definitely dumped cups of coffee on things before, so I am experienced in the pain. But yeah, you do get a little bit of water resistance, which is pretty nice. I like that. All right, let's take a look at the chromatography. Here it is. And look at all the interesting colors you've got here in this chromatography. You've got everything from the gray at the bottom, which stuck around, and that made me think that it might be water resistance, to a little bit of green here, a band of purple, and then a band of like carnation pink. And you definitely see, well, is that purple? Yeah, it's kind of a bluish purple. So a more complicated ink than you would think at first for Trash Penda Gray. I think it's pretty cool. Neat chromatography. All right. So let's look at this on some other papers. Firstly, I've been doing a lot of transcription stuff because it gives me an excuse to... Where are you going? gives me an excuse to write with an ink. I've been transcribing this book, The 99% Invisible City, that my sister gave me, and this is talking about electrical substations and like transformers and stuff hidden within cities and whatnot. And this is pretty cool. And as you can see on this paper, which is Domtar 28 pound, which I got from Blank Slate Paper Company. This is it's a design that I kind of made myself. It's like gray lines with little yellow hash marks interspersed throughout so that I can, draw boxes and do all kinds of other stuff when I want to. But you do get a fair amount of very nice shading on here. No weird things like your featherings and bleeding and all that sort of thing. Although there is a little bit, maybe a little bit of bleed through here. This isn't a perfect fountain pen paper or anything, but pretty good. I mean, I'm only using one side of this anyway, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, just a little bit there. Okay. Next up, I've got it here in an Inkyfingers currently inked notebook. This is wheat straw paper, which is also very similar to things like sugarcane paper. It has the same kind of effect. So you'll see there's a bit of the shading as well. And also this just a very nice steely gray. I like that. I think it's pretty good. Pretty good. All right. And of course, no bleed through or anything like that on this paper. This paper is actually good with fountain pens. That's not bleed. That's actually, I closed this before the other one was completely dry. That's on me. So yeah, it looks pretty good on there, I think. Then I have it in a Galen Leather Company everyday book, which is Tomoe River. And here it is down here from that Aurora 88's medium nib. And you get a whole lot of shading on here. I actually kind of like this ink better on slightly more absorbent papers. I think the shading is a little bit too much here, and it starts to look kind of inconsistent. But that's just the way that Tomoe River interacts with some papers or with some inks like this. You can see it up here with this Sailor Seki as well, like where the ink just like doesn't kind of stay, it pools, and so you get an interesting effect. But it also can make your letters look a little bit inconsistent as compared to like a denser ink. So it's a thing to think about. Remember, pens, paper, and ink are a triumvirate, and you need all three of those things working in concert to have it look awesome. Okay, here are some comparable inks. This is a Colodex card. This is from my friend Anna Reinhardt over at Well Appointed Desk. You can find these here. I just bought myself a new pack because I ran out. And now I am good to go. So here it is next to Pelikan Edelstein Moonstone, which is fairly close, although Moonstone does lean harder into the sort of green areas. And it does come off overall more light than Trash Penda Gray does. Then we have Kala Nostalgia Abstraction, which is Moonlight Tide. Kala is the company. Nostalgia and Abstraction are like collections, and then Moonlight Tide is the name of the ink. It's very complicated stuff. Got this from Sugar Inks, and you can see that this has a lot in common with the darker areas, but this Kala Nostalgia series is all pigmented, and so you don't get a whole lot of shading from this. It's much more like consistent and and opaque. So yeah, interesting. Then we got Three Oysters Doldam, which I think is very close actually. This one does go more into the greenish brownish areas than you get in Trash Penda, but this one writes like pants. It's just so dry that while I love the color, I just didn't ever enjoy using the ink. And so this one might be a slightly better alternative. If you, like me, like a wetter ink. And then lastly, I think this is also very close, although it's got more of a brown cast or something to it going on, olive green perhaps, something interesting going on there that's a little bit warmer. This is Diamine Ash from the Diamine Inkvent calendar. And day 3 right there. This is a standard ink. I got this from Lemur Ink in that calendar, and I think it's fairly close, kinda, but different tones. It's a little bit cooler, even though it has some of the same stuff going on. So really interesting ink here, and you get that from these handmade boutique inks. Man, words are hard, right? Boutique inks that are handmade and that sort of thing. So check out this Papier Plume Inkyconverters Trash Penda Gray when you go to the St. Louis Pen Show. She will also be selling it online if there are leftovers after the show. She has an Etsy site. You'll find that down in the description. I'll post that in there, and you can find that after the show this weekend. Hopefully there'll be some left over for other folks to get their hands on, because it's cool. It's a really nice ink. And also, how cute is that label? Very. All right. Thanks very much, Angela, for sending this ink out for me to show everyone. Y'all have a good time at the St. Louis Pen Show. That's not one I'm going to get to go to. So let me know how it went down in the comments. Let me know if you're looking for this ink or if you got it, what you think, all that sort of thing. Like, comment, subscribe, and you'll see me in another video very soon. Peace out.